The Valley of Kings was cold that morning, the mountain winds whispering through the great stone faces of Modimus and Vilmar. Mountaineer Pebblebitty adjusted the straps of her armor, her axe sharpened and glinting in the early light. She had spent weeks tracking the beast. Margol the Rager, the great Kodo of the Searing Gorge, was no ordinary wild thing. The dwarves had whispered of it for years. A beast with scars as old as time, one that had survived every hunt, every battle. To some, it was a legend. To Pebblebitty, it was unfinished business. It had been 15 years since she had first seen the Kodo. She had been a young mountaineer then, stationed at the edge of Loch Modan, assigned to patrol the craggy paths between the dwarven valleys and the dangerous cliffs leading into Searing Gorge. A routine watch had turned into a desperate chase when her younger brother, Torek Pebblebitty, vanished during a patrol. His tracks had led into the gorge, and in the distance past the scorched earth, she had seen Margol, its massive frame silhouetted against the red sky. At its feet had been Torek's shattered rifle, and the earth soaked with something dark. She had never found his body. No dwarf did. The old warriors of Ironforge called it fate. Sometimes the mountain takes its own. But she never believed that. She never forgot the way Margol had turned, just for a moment, before disappearing into the canyons, watching her. So she trained. Years passed, and Pebblebitty rose in rank, her name whispered among her kin as one of the finest scouts the Mountaineers had ever seen. But none of it mattered. Not really. Every step, every battle, every strike of her axe was preparation for one thing: hunting the beast that had taken her brother. And now she was ready. The hunt had led her deep into the gorge, past the stone-wrought dam's edge, through tunnels carved by time and lava. The air was thick with heat, the earth cracked and broken beneath her boots. And there, among the scorched rocks, she saw it. Margol. It was bigger than she remembered. Its gray hide bore the marks of old wounds, jagged scars running along its flanks. Its horns, like twin iron blades, glowed faintly in the heat. But its eyes, they hadn't changed. They still held that terrible knowing intelligence. Pebblebitty didn't hesitate. She let out a war cry and charged, her axe swinging in an arc meant to take out one of its legs, but the beast was faster than its massive frame suggested. It swung its head, catching her mid-motion, sending her sprawling against a jagged rock. Pain erupted in her ribs, but she gritted her teeth and rolled just as the beast's foot slammed into the earth where she had lain. She had fought ogres, trolls, and dark iron dwarves, but nothing matched this. Margol fought like a creature that had lived 100 lifetimes of war. Every move was precise. Every stomp shook the earth. Still, she was a Pebblebitty. She had waited years for this moment, and she wasn't going to die in the dirt. She pushed herself up, dodging another charge, and swung her axe with all the strength in her body. The blade bit deep into Margol's horn. The beast bellowed in rage, shaking its head violently, flinging her off her feet. Her axe, her family's axe, remained lodged in the horn, cracked down the middle. But she had done something no dwarf had before. She had wounded the great Kodo. Blood, thick and dark, dripped from the horn as Margol snorted, stomping its feet in fury. But it didn't attack. Instead, it looked at her, truly looked at her. And then, with a final huff, it turned and disappeared into the gorge, vanishing like smoke into the burning haze. Pebblebitty lay there, chest heaving, her fingers still gripping the dust where she had fallen. She had waited 15 years for vengeance. She had dreamed of bringing the beast down, of standing over its fallen form and carving her brother's name into the stones beside it. But as she sat up, watching the last traces of Margol fade into the red horizon, she realized something. Margol hadn't killed Torek for sport. And as the beast disappeared into the gorge, he locked eyes with her one last time. Pebblebitty knew it wasn't mercy that stayed its hand, but something else. A recognition, perhaps. A quiet understanding that, for today, the fight was done. She could live with that. Pebblebitty pulled herself to her feet, sore, bruised, but alive. The fight was over. She hadn't killed the beast, but she had fought it, and that was enough. But as she looked down at her hands, she clenched her fists in frustration. Her axe was still out there. That wasn't just any weapon. It was a Pebblebitty family heirloom, forged by her great-grandfather, carried into war against the trolls, the orcs, the dark irons. She had planned to lay it across her brother's grave when she finally avenged him. And now, it was lodged in the horn of a beast that refused to die. So she limped back to Stone-Wrought Pass, where she had spent years watching the road, warning travelers of what lay beyond. She never told anyone the full truth of what happened in the gorge. But when adventurers passed through, eager for a fight, she saw an opportunity.
That beast, Margol the Rager, she's got something of mine. I want it back.
Was she expecting them to succeed? Not really. But if one did, if some upstart hero managed to finish what she started and returned with her axe, well, she wouldn't say no to a good drink and a damn good story. Until then, she'd keep watching the pass, waiting.